Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we have come to the last session of Mundaka Upanishad. And this Upanishad, as you know, directly going into the essentials and the way of knowledge. And you see, if I can give you a summary of what we discussed so far, they have described sacrificial rites and all that, but finally they tell us that just karma will not take you there unless it is nishkam. Unless it is nishkam. So it is good to invest in knowledge. Knowledge is the direct path. But this level of knowledge requires certain preparation, and it requires, good establishment in sadhan chatushtay, and in addition to that, a very, bhidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshayaha. This kind of a mental framework, where all the knots of the heart are cut asunder and all the doubts are cleared, which means a very, very, very clear mind that only is able to manufacture the right buddhi. So it's mandatory, you see, this purification of mind and bringing clarity to mind, bringing a kind of acuteness to our intelligence so that we are able to discern correctly. Vivek we are able to do. So this is all very important in this path. That is why the insistence on sadhana. Because although realization happens in a moment, the preparation for that moment requires a long time. And unless that preparation is there, that magical moment will not come. So I hope you saw that video on power of an insight. See, one insight originally, that which comes, every insight, it must be original, it must come in the first person by yourself. If that has come, definitely we will get some, it's called a glimpse of the goal, a glimpse of reality as it is. So then you build on that. But if this fundamental insight is not there, then you are only conceptualizing the Atman, which will never happen. Atman is never a concept, isn't it? You cannot catch it in a thought framework. So take care of this. It's a very subtle process of inquiry and meditation and this level of preparation so that we are able to come into this knowledge. Otherwise, it won't happen. If it doesn't happen, then, we keep on complaining all through life. I tried, but nothing happened. I did so much of japa, nothing happened. Create the atmosphere, bring about the preparation and dive into, for some time at least, you must do only this in your life. Then you will see it becomes natural. Every state of mind, you're still aware of the self. That's the ideal state, pratibodha viditam matam. But as a preparation, as a training, we require to do real sadhana. Without that, it won't happen. Now you see, go to the 9th mantra, that's the one we have to discuss today. The 3rd canto, 1st chapter, 9th mantra. Esho anuratma chetasa veditavyo yasmin prana panchadha samvivesha pranaishchittam sarvamotam prajanam yasmin vishuddhe vibhavati esha atma. Within the heart, in the body, where the vital force has entered in 5 forms, is this subtle self to be realized through that intelligence by which is pervaded the entire mind as well as the motor and sensory organs of all creatures. And it is to be known in the mind, which having become purified, this self reveals itself distinctly. So you see, this idea is there in the Upanishads. Manasana manute yenahur manomatam. And again they will say, Manasai medam aptavyam. You can know it only through the mind. At another place they are saying you can never know it through the mind. So what they are trying to say is through the pure mind you can know it. The formula of Thakur, which we always discuss, pure mind is equal to pure buddhi is equal to pure Atman. Because The buddhi will not develop without purity of mind. Yes, it will remain gross and unrefined. It won't give us this level of knowledge. So you see, he's saying it can be known by the mind once it is cleared up. Then you see, the entire pranic force, vital energy, becomes the buddhi, as it were. So all these words which I am using, you must have very clear ideas about them. When I use the word vital energy, what do I mean? I mean the pranic force within us, which best manifests as thought, as mind. Now, if this is clear enough, the entire force will manifest as awareness. Yes, you're getting the point? So you see, the equipment is all inbuilt. If you just refine it, train it, it will yield this level of knowledge. If there is rajas and tamas in the mind, you will never come to this. Please know this for certain. It will impel you outward. So that's why they are saying it is to be realized through that intelligence which already pervades the mind and the motor and sensory organs. That is what is called prajna, or even dhi. In the Upanishad, such words are used. What it means to say is the higher awareness. Your entire vital force bursts forth as awareness. So the mind becomes the buddhi. When Thakur is saying pure mind is equal to pure buddhi, here buddhi is not another faculty of the mind, the intellectual faculty. Here it means the entire mind has become your insight. This level of knowledge it will yield. So this is the way to the self. That is why training and conservation of vital energy is required. All the disciplines which they have been telling us, austerity and brahmacharya, all this, why they tell us conservation of vital energy, clarity of mind, and it will become buddhi. So it yields the highest insights of spiritual life. Self-knowledge. Only knowledge will liberate the mind, please remember. According to Shankara, only knowledge will liberate the mind. And real knowledge will bring about what is called, that level of fulfillment and bliss which the Upanishads speak of. So that is why the entire, emphasis is on knowledge. The subtle self is to be realized through intelligence of this kind. And it is to be known in the mind which, having become purified, reveals the self distinctly. You see, the mind itself becomes the buddhi. So once you get an original insight of this kind, which means in the first person you have experienced this, now you will build on it. You will understand, oh, this is the reality about myself. At least a dharana of this is required for real spiritual life. Otherwise, just conceptual ideas, I told you, they are like clouds in your mind, which will get blown away by other clouds. That's not enough. So a real dharana means a continuous thought flow. See, when you grasp reality, your mind will get, completely imbued with what you are calling reality. So then there is a continuous thought flow along those lines. Once you are out of the moment of insight, the mind will rush only towards that. So it will yield more and more knowledge about the self. This is how the Upanishads came into being. Please understand. Here you are using thought to overcome thought, to transcend thought. Right? Self-enquiry begins with the mind but takes you to the self. Right? So this is the way of knowledge. Just knowledge will liberate. That's why it's the direct path. Every other path is the scenic route. You go slowly. It is, natural, emotional. You go beautifully. But this is crashing into reality. That's why the mantras are so powerful. Each mantra, now you see, the 10th mantra, we'll go to Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati vishuddha sattva kamayate yanscha kaman tam tam lokam jayate tanscha kaman tasmat atmajnam hyarchayet bhuti kamaha. Iti Mundakopanishadi Tritiya Mundake Prathama Khandaha. The man of pure mind wins those worlds which he mentally wishes for and those enjoyable things which he covets. Therefore, one desirous of prosperity should adore the knower of the self. The benign effect of the realized mind is it will grant every other mind what it wants. Yes. If you have lived close to great sadhus, no, you will understand this. Their blessings are paramount. Why? It's an illumined mind. Their every vritti is divine. Every vritti of their mind is divine and benign. So whatever we go to them in whatever state of mind, their influence will change our ways and will actually bring to us what we want. This is what he's saying. That is why you see in our culture always the greatest respect has been given to men of realization, isn't it? Huh? Why is this? Because their influence is the most powerful in a society. See, we should understand this. The value of spirituality, the value of real realization is because it is a transcendental knowledge, insight. The mind of the sage is, a dynamo of power. It holds great power. Any other mind coming into that ambit will get inflamed, ignited. So it will grant every being whatever he desires. This is what they are saying. The power of the illumined mind is being described. It is there even in the Taittiriya Upanishad. What happens as a result of realization? Annavanannado bhavati, mahan bhavati, prajaya pashubhi, brahmavarchasena. His brahmavarchas will create vast changes. See, the only point of change, if you want to change this world, it begins with the human mind. Now, the man of spirituality is able to influence a whole lot of minds towards a better life, towards a greater ideal, towards how we should live in this world. So in this way, he asserts enormous influence on society. Check and see the Buddhas and the Christs and the great ones. Their influence is the greatest even today, isn't it? Any realized mind has that power, you should understand. But these are avatars. Their power is million times greater. So the illumined mind is our greatest asset, you should understand. That is why I said invest in knowledge. Then only all these things will become relevant. Otherwise, I'll tell you, after some time you will say, oh, it is some sage's realization, these Upanishads. Usme hame kya hai? You say this. This is what is happening to our youngsters. No, they are unable to connect with this level of knowledge because the necessary preparation is not there. And they don't even understand its effect on society. Why is it, that this culture alone gave the highest respect to this level of knowledge, gave its best minds to the investigation into this, and considered this to be the highest aim of human life because they understood the impact of this knowledge on society. See, you cannot tell a man, be unselfish, be moral, and he will become unselfish and moral. In fact, today's generation will become the opposite if you tell them that. Yes. So how do you change the mind of man? Tell me. That is why the power of spirituality. This is the only way to change. You inspire the mind with such a great goal, ideal, because you are shining with that ideal, and that mind will automatically change. This is the power of spirituality. There is no other way to change. Please know that. You cannot change a person at gunpoint, can you? Can you change? Or legislation? I'll put you into jail if you don't behave this way. All this is not the way to change. This is the way to, just now to keep peace in this bit of society, we may require to do that. Real change comes when you see the great ideal in front of you. And for that, we require to invest in spirituality. We require real sages and saints. In fact, Vivekananda used to say that the future will see sages and prophets walking on streets. Around the corner you will find them. Because we will understand this is the highest level of knowledge possible. And this is the really positive impact on society. This gives the greatest impact. Nothing else. Isn't it? You should remember this. Once upon a time, 2500 years back, half of India turned monastic just looking at the Buddha's face. Today also, the best of our society is coming out looking at Thakurma.
Yes.
They are wanting to follow a great ideal in life. So this inspiration can only come from an illumined mind. Isn't it? So that is why he is saying that this spirituality, it is the whole point. A society which can produce spiritual men and women is a great society. And a society which belittles these things, undermines the effect of spirituality, it's an undeveloped society. Isn't it? The very heart of religion is spirituality, you should know. The purpose of every religion is the real spiritual life. Don't get caught up with the externals and the ceremonials and the customs, rituals. The heart of it is this, the illumined mind. And here in the Upanishads, it is direct, the path of knowledge. Just through knowledge you can know this. You can get this. Brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati. Nothing else is required. So you see, very powerful mantras these are all. I told you, you don't run through these mantras like this the way I am doing it, because your retreat is ending. We are just running through the text. But you have to do manan on this. Take up each mantra. Now when you go home, don't waste your time on internet and television and gaming and all that. Just go to this. Now you have studied Mundaka. Take up one mantra, 3 days, manan. Then you see how it will seep into you. You will have the videos, they are recording everything. It should seep into the subconscious and transform the unconscious. That is the power of these mantras. So you see, anything a person mentally wishes or wants, he will prosper in the presence of the illumined mind. So the Ashirvad of these sages is great for us. It is what transforms the human mind. Then go into the third Mundaka, Canto 2. I think I told you the story of that sage who, the king, did I tell you that story here? I haven't told you. Okay, let me briefly tell you one story here for us to understand how the influence of spirituality affects the human mind. See, there used to be a king. This seems to be a real story. In ancient times, there was a king who was a good king, but he didn't believe in spirituality, in all this meditation and samadhi. He didn't believe in all that. He said we should do good karma. See, many people in our society are like that. We should do good and then we live a good life. That is the whole goal. Then he had a wise minister who told him, sir, even your tendency to do good is coming from somebody's meditation. Do you know that? Then he said, well, I don't believe in all that. I'm good because I'm good. Why should it come through somebody's influence on me? So then the minister said, that is because you have not seen men in samadhi and in the spiritual men, the rishis. So he said, okay, you show me then. What is their power? I would like to see. So then one day the minister took this king to a ashram, which was on the outskirts of his kingdom. And there, see, the king was quite agitated because his strong personal beliefs were now being scrutinized. Now he is going to discover something, his ministers are telling him. So he's taken into that ashram, and he also brings his, a little bit of his army, his soldiers, his ministers, courtiers, they are all there, about 100 people maybe. So when they enter the ashram, the disciples of the rishi who was there, they tell him that, sir, here it is quiet. Come quietly, come in and sit by the sage. You just sit. So he comes, they all come and they sit in front of a sage who's sitting under a tree. and he seems to be in a deep state of absorption. So now the king sits and he's asking his minister, how long should I sit? See, we do all this. Huh? Then the minister said, just sit and see how time vanishes. So he sat in front of the sage, and that sage was in a state of samadhi, very high state of consciousness. See, samadhi is very much misunderstood. Samadhi is when you are not just you are lost somewhere, you are in full awareness, but without a thought function. Imagine this and see. Chittavritti Nirodha has happened, but full awareness is there. Huh? And that results in complete absorption within oneself. So he is radiantly sitting there like that. And now as the king looks at him, suddenly he closes his eyes. And this happens to all the people who accompanied him also. He closes his eyes and he feels deep peace within himself. Deep peace which he had never felt. His agitated mind, constant thoughts, judgments and memories, everything is arrested. Because the sage's mind is completely now absorbed in the self, his own mind has come to a state of rest. Then suddenly he becomes, progressively aware from within, the king. Deep awareness is awakening within him, blossoming forth, and he feels so refreshed and rejuvenated. He has never experienced anything like this. Then he understands what they are telling him. Awareness, if awareness comes into full bloom, you don't require any thought activity to give you knowledge. Awareness itself is knowledge. So he understands this is a state of pure being which I am experiencing, and full consciousness and no silly thoughts to deflect his attention. When he touches this state, he himself is now in a samadhi-like state and tears start dripping. I told you tears of ecstasy drip from the outer corners of the eyes, and tears of regret and sorrow drip from the inner corner. So when you are crying next time, check and see. You will know what exactly you are crying for. You may be thinking you are crying for God. Many times it's because somebody has hurt you. It's not for God. So check and see this. So he sees, the king sees that the tears are dropping from his eyes, and such a peace and fulfillment within. He has never experienced anything like this. And then after a long time, the sage's mind moves in the sense it starts now coming back into function, and all of their minds come back. And then suddenly it is as if he has come out of a deep awakening. And then he looks at the sage, the placid, radiant face of the sage, full of bliss and compassion. And as soon as he sees, he falls at his feet and says, "What did you do to me?" Huh? Then the sage says, "I didn't do anything." Mind influences mind. Mind influences mind. And the king is utterly moved at this point. And then he tells his minister, "Now I understand the power of spirituality. This is the only power which can change the sanskars of the human mind. This is the only power which can, remove sorrow from our hearts, which can untangle all these granthis, which can bring clarity and which brings this luminosity and radiance, bliss into our lives." So he said, he agreed that even the good thoughts I'm having is due to the meditation of these sages. Please remember this. Somebody somewhere is absorbed in God, and that is why we have the privilege and the tendency, the inclination to do something good. Yes, sattva, this is how it flows in this universe. Otherwise, you see, if we didn't have this power of spirituality, you never know how the buddhi will work. It will all be tit for tat. You give me, I give you back only this. Gandhi said this, isn't it? An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. It takes a Gandhi to control these tendencies. So the whole point I'm trying to make is the power of spirituality that alone can control human minds. So this is why the insistence on this level of knowledge. You see this. So don't think like the king used to think, no, these people are somewhere lost, somewhere in the forest. We don't have to bother about them. They are the people who are changing our ways of mind. So it's very important. Now, the first mantra of the third Mundak, Canto 2, says, Sa Vedaitat Paramam Brahmadhama Yatra Vishwam Nihitam Bhati Shubhram Upasate Purusham Ye Hyakama Ste Shukrametad Ativartanti Dhiraha. He knows this supreme abode, this Brahman, in which is placed the universe and which shines holy, as it were. Those wise ones indeed who have become desireless worship this person, this enlightened person, and transcend this human seed. See, he who knows this supreme abode, Brahman, he realizes that in Brahman alone is fixed all these worlds. And so they shine in the light of Brahman, so they are all holy. That's the point he's trying to make. See, depending on our state of mind, we perceive the world outside of us, isn't it? Is this true? Depending on our state. When you're very happy, even a villain coming in front of you, it's okay. You don't have harsh feelings. But when you're in a sad or morose state of mind, even a good person coming in front of you can irritate you. A lot of our perceptions, mentations, depend upon our state of mind. You are actually seeing what is there in your mind. So when this is a fact, those who have realized Brahman are going to see this world only as holy, shining in the light of Brahman. It is one truth alone that appears in so many forms. See, just for a moment you think like this and see, she is me only in another form. Think this and see. What a magical feeling it will be. That is me only in another form. I am you in another form. At once it will produce something within you. This is the exact truth about existence. We are not imagining something. It is one consciousness reflecting in different minds and appearing in different bodies. Fantastic, isn't it? See, this is the play of the Lord. One being reflecting in different minds and appearing in different bodies. And because we are strongly body identified, the name, form, identity in body has become important to us. So I feel now you are different from me. You are separate from me. I am special and exclusive. All this rubbish comes into our minds. It is all Maya. That is why. Ya ma kintu pratiyate iti Maya. That's the definition of Maya, which means which is not there, but appears strongly to be there. That is Maya. It is not actually there. See, our so-called identities are not actually there. Not even that they are misplaced, they are not there. But we think we are all exclusive to each other, special. This is the normal language we use, isn't it? When you transform your consciousness, you switch your perceptions. What did I say? When you transform your inner consciousness, you will switch your perceptions. There is only one consciousness shining in so many minds and appears to be in different bodies. Don't make a mistake about this. This is the truth of existence. And no matter what our mind tells us, mind will tell you what it is conditioned to know. Don't listen to that mind. It is the outpouring of its conditioning, that's all. The fact of existence, that's why I told you, no, this is not psychological discussion, this is existential discussion. It goes beyond psychology. The fact of existence is this. There is only one consciousness. So you see, the knower of Brahman sees all of this entire world and all the other worlds, the multiverses, shining in that one Brahman. It is only Brahman. So what will be his attitude? Once I am able to see this, know that you are me in another form, my attitude towards you will change suddenly. It will become I will become very protective of you, very compassionate, just like what I would do with myself. This is the whole point. That is why, all religions will tell you morality means be compassionate, be good to others, be unselfish. Because this is the truth of existence. You don't need moral enforcement for that. You need perception of reality as it is. This is Jnana Marg, you should understand. No enforcements and compulsions here. You don't have to be compulsively moral. You see the reality and you will become moral only. That is why knowledge is important. Right? You see at what level they are seeing and telling us the truth of existence. So you see, upasate purusham ye hyakama ste. So those wise ones who have become desireless worship Brahman. That is why transcend this human seed means the mere human body. They are able to see far beyond that. This drishti, drishti jnanamayam kritva pashet brahmamayam jagat. This drishti is very important. Somewhere you must feel the reality of this. Then our entire attitude, our responses and reactions, our perceptions will definitely undergo a change. Right? Go to the next mantra. Kamanya kamayate manyamanaha sa kamabhirjayate tatra tatra paryapta kamasya kritatmanastu ihaiva sarve praviliyanti kamaha. He who covets the desirable things while brooding on their virtues is born amidst those very surroundings along with the desires. But for one who has got his wishes fulfilled and who is self-poised, all the longings vanish even here. So they are analyzing desire for us. Desire is kama, actually means desire. It is so strong a vritti in our minds that whatever you intensely desire, you will gravitate towards that, isn't it? And this happens even in the afterlife. I told you the law of resonance works there. Once we are out of the body, what sanskars we have collected in our minds and what karma we have performed, according to that karma phal, we gravitate or resonate with a particular kind of ambience and we will move towards that. So you actually take up a body and a circumstance, a family, according to your desire, whether you know this or not. It could be all subconscious. But that's what we deserve, so we have landed there. Now you see, nobody wants to be born in a slum, but children are coming out of the slum. Somewhere, something in you has gravitated towards that. That is why the importance of understanding what desire means and clarifying our desires. Let us desire, but desire for the highest. Not for the small things of life. Because what you desire today will become strong mental vrittis, repetition of vrittis become sanskars, and that's the baggage your manomaya kosh is going to carry. Yes, even in the afterlife. That will decide where we come back. Yes? So you see, that's why he's saying, but then the state of the enlightened is such, karma vanishes from them. See, this is one of the important signs of a enlightened mind. There is no karma, desire. They don't find anything worthy of the state of enlightenment. So they don't desire it. Nothing can compare with that. So they don't desire. Once you have tasted real chocolate, Lindt, You are not interested in gems or some small little thing, isn't it? Huh? So it's like that. When you have tasted enlightenment, you cannot desire the small things of life. So you see, this is the highest level of development they are talking about, that one who has got his wishes fulfilled and is self-poised, all longings vanish even here. So he will not carry a huge manomay baggage, manomay kosh baggage, okay? So he is not reborn in these kind of circumstances. There's no desire to do that. But then he attains the highest lokas. We discussed that briefly. It will be either Nirgun Brahman, or it will be the Sagun Brahman lok, or it will be Tapalok, Satyalok, all that. But he obviously is not going to come back where it's all only karma bhumi and it's born out of desire. That kind of loka he will not come to. So there is a way of transcending desires. See, you cannot pluck out desires from your heart. If your heart tastes something better, it will let go of what is small. It's like that. You cannot curb human ambition. But if you taste the higher ideal, you let go of small things. It's like that. So that's why then, you see, the next mantra also is connected. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaisha vrunute te na labhya tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. This is directly there in the Kathopanishad also. The same mantra, yeah. So you see, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo. You cannot get this through pravachan or study, nor through na medhaya, nor through the intellectual gymnastics, you won't get it, nor through much hearing, na bahuna shrutena. Yame vaisha vrunute tena labhya. It means the Atman is realized by one whom it desires. Now we'll analyze this, what it means. Tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. And the self reveals its real nature to him alone. So this is pretty obvious. You cannot gain it merely through study or intellectual thinking or through even just hearing. I always told you it must go into manan and nididhyasan. Otherwise you won't get it. Shravan is very good, and manan is the next step, and nididhyasan is the real meditation step. So it has to go into that. Only for the very specially qualified, just Shravan can put them into that. That's a different category altogether. They are categorically different. The really, like Shukadev, for example, or a Raman Maharshi, just once they heard and it's over. But for all of us, there is a definite path. You go and practice nididhyasan again and again and again, you will get a grasp on the self. But that also is not enough, he is saying here. Yame vaisha vrunute tena labhya. Which means the self must find you worth revealing. The self, the Atman, must open up its truth to you. You must be of that type. Which means now if the buddhi is open to reality, buddhi is the highest development of your mind, isn't it? If it opens up to reality, reality will go forth and embrace it. You will become one with it. That is yame vaisha vrunute tena labhya. And tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. Only to such a one the self will reveal itself. You must have that jnana prasada, the ashirvad of your own buddhi, intellect, so that it opens up to reality. Yes? The buddhi can remain close to reality all your life. Have you seen this? There are people who are very good in mathematics, in astrophysics, in so many things, but not at all interested in this. The buddhi remains closed. This is a possibility. Somewhere you have achieved excellence, but here you miss the point. So the thing is, The buddhi must, become compatible with this level of knowledge to receive it. And so, huh? Bodhe bodh kora, Thakur used to say. Which means you are able to catch it in your bodh itself. The buddhi is scintillating, sparkling with intelligence, sattvic intelligence. Then it will grasp this. Otherwise, you will miss the point. Yes. So, you see, how do you realize the Atman? The final word is Yame Vaishya Vrunute Tena Labhya. Don't think we have the capacity to realize God. The more sadhana you do, the more you will understand how limited I am. But what will happen is, it will give us humility. Humility is the truth about our lives, isn't it? Humility means unself-consciousness. That all karma yoga and everything does that only, finally. It gives you unself-consciousness. As a result of which, you will become really humble before this level of knowledge, and it will enter into you. When the ego is put down, intelligence will sparkle. That is the bodhe bodhkara. As long as we have a sense of deep-rooted identity in body and mind, the ego will keep functioning. Yes, in subtle ways it will keep functioning. We don't realize it, And you will waste your mental energies, vital energies in who said what about me, who thought what about me, and why this person didn't behave properly with me. They're all unnecessary to real spiritual life. I'm telling you, unless you shake off this, you can't come to this. Because the grace of the buddhi means I'm like a rock when it comes to finding reality. All other things I don't mind. After all, you see, they are criticizing your ego. It's a good thing, isn't it? Some dohas are there on this. It improves you. Nindaka niyare rakhiyo. Angana kutichabai. It is good to have a little bit of ninda in life, because it will make you pure. It will cleanse you up. So this is what they are saying. The grace of the buddhi is the grace of the Atman. A really pure buddhi will invest only in this knowledge, mainly. It will want only this. This is the grace of the Atman. Tasya isha Atma. So the self reveals itself to one who is such. Then you see the next mantra. This is also like the repetition is there from Kathopanishad. Nayamatma balahine na labhyo nacha pramada tapaso vapya lingat ete rupaye yadate yastu vidwan stasyaisha atma vishate brahmadhama. This self is not attained by one devoid of strength. Balahinena alabhya. And nor through any form of delusion, pramadat. By hook or by crook, you can't get this knowledge. Then, nor through knowledge unassociated with monasticism. Without renunciation, you won't get this knowledge. But I made it clear what renunciation means here. But the self of that knower who strives through these means enters into the abode that is Brahman. See, first of all, balahinena na labhya means what? If you don't have sufficient physical, mental and spiritual strength, you won't be consistent. You won't keep doing sadhana no matter what happens. That titiksha will not be there. So then you won't get the self. Mental strength is rare. Spiritual strength is rarer still. Mental strength means, it means resilience, it means fortitude, it means adaptability, and it means consistency, in sadhana especially. That nishtha, I will keep to it. If mental strength is not there, you cannot do all this. Some intellectual idea about the Upanishads, that is nothing, I am telling you. Unless you stick to sadhana, you will not get it. It's that simple. That's the equation. So mental strength, very much required. And physical strength also, obviously, you should be able to sit and do your sadhana, isn't it? And you should be able to do whatever is required for that sadhana. Karma yoga, all the other types of yogas, the duties of your life, everything has to be done. And spiritual strength. Spiritual strength means this, the spiritual sanskars which you collect and make. Not that today you are spiritual, tomorrow you become worldly, day after tomorrow you are not doing anything. Not like that. Every day, day after day, building the spiritual life. So you see, Nayamatma balahinena labhyo. Then, nacha pramadat, which means through all kinds of ways. In the earlier times, they would use even tantric rituals to get some benefits in life. Through all these kinds of ways, you cannot get real spirituality. That's what they are saying. The grace of God, of the divine, only comes in a clean heart. You can't try to harm others and somehow become spiritual, or try to get it by some other means, negative means. No. All you have to do is purify the system and clarify your intellect. So, nacha pramadat. And then, tapaso vapi alingat, which means an austerity which is unassociated with monasticism will not work. If there is no renunciation, no matter what austerity you do, it will not work for self-knowledge. See, these asuras of yore, they did lot of tapasya. Have you seen in Puranic stories? So much, thousands of years of tapasya, standing on one leg, raising hands like this. So much they did. So they also do tapasya. But alingat, unassociated with renunciation. For what are they doing tapasya? Give me more money, more power, more wives. This is tapasya. So that's why they are saying, all kinds of asceticism will not get you self-knowledge. There must be fundamental renunciation. Means what? As a result of your vivek, you are able to shake off the unnecessary thing in your life. That is renunciation. Vairagya comes from vivek. You are clearly able to discern the real and the unreal, the permanent and the temporary, and you remove the unreal and the temporary. That's all. So without this renunciation, asceticism will not get you self-knowledge, they are saying. Then you see, ete rupair yatate yastu vidwan. The self of that knower who strives through these means enters into Brahman. Tasyesha atma vishate brahmadhama. Which means that Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati, the self of the knower of Brahman becomes one with Brahman. See, please see this carefully. Now I want you to observe this in your own experience. Your sense of yourself is always I am, existence. Your sense of yourself is not, like I'm taking an example, I'm Jabba. Her name is Jabba. You never think of yourself in terms of I am Jabba, I look like this. The mirror tells you you look like that. In your own first person experience, you only are. I am is the most fundamental sense of existence you have. The rest comes in when the mind kicks in. According to its conditioning, it will give you pictures of yourself. This I am sense, that is why, pertains to pure existence, to the Brahman shining within you. If you just hold on to I am, pure existence will be revealed to you. In fact, this is the only sadhana which Nisargadatta Maharaj did. You might remember. Yes? Just I am. Just hold this in your mind. You will come to Vedanta automatically. Because it is the existential truth about you. Amness, being, existence, is the ultimate truth about you. Don't listen to what your mind tells you. Mind will tell you, no, I am so and so. I look like this. This is my qualification. This is my status. All made up. Unless you shake away this identity, That I am sense will not shine within you. I am is Brahman. So try to catch this I am. See, this is a meditation you can do. Just I am. Catch this in first person experience. This is how, Vedantic meditations are like this. Even God's sense of himself is I am. Not I am God. That we made up. Yes. Thakur could not use the word I. This he would say. Ekhane. God's sense of himself is only Brahman. I am. The pure light of existence, which you also are. Each one of us is. When you touch that, that's why you become godly. Personality sense is really, personality means persona, no? Mask. You're wearing a mask and you can't put it down. See, this is the whole thing. So many clues they throw in these mantras to self-knowledge. Then he says, the self of that knower who strives through these means enters into the abode that is Brahman. That is why his sense of himself is only Brahman. He, as it were, enters into Brahmajnana. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati is the truth. Okay. Brahmavid does not get a concept of Brahman. He does not get knowledge of Brahman. He becomes Brahman. It is very nicely described in our scriptures. I can give you an example here. What exactly Swarupa Lakshana it is called? Swarupa Lakshanam. See, there is a difference between tatasta Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means, now I'll give you an example in real life. You must imagine it, okay? Imagine you are on a beach. In front of you is the Pacific or Indian Ocean, whatever, vast ocean is there in front of you. Now, I stand there and tell you, please describe the ocean. How will you describe the ocean? You'll say, oh, it's a vast body of water and it is stretching to the horizons and it is glittering in the sun, shimmering in the light, and it is surging, the waves are surging. This is how you would describe the ocean, isn't it? Because you're standing on the tata, on the beach. This is tatastha lakshana for the ocean. Now suppose I tell you, no, you enter the ocean now. Enter the water. And now you describe the ocean. Once you enter the water, how will you describe the ocean? It's all water. In terms of water you will describe. It is cold, very cold. And now I'm all wet. And the waves are coming over me. And the water feels like this. It's refreshing, but it's cold. This is Swarupa Lakshana. You are describing the ocean in terms of its real content, which is water. So also when you describe Brahman in terms of its real essence, awareness, it is Swarupa Lakshana. And when you describe ocean from the beach, standing apart from it, it is Tatastha Lakshana. When you have to describe God standing apart from him, he is all powerful, omniscient, omnipotent, he is Ishvara, he is Bhagavan, he looks like this, he feels all this. But when you enter into his being, Brahma with Brahma, then you will say he is only Sat Chit Ananda Swarup, which I also am. Are you getting the point? See, this is Dvaita in Advaita. Dvaita is Tatastha Lakshana, mainly you are giving. In Advaita you are giving Swarupa Lakshana. I told you God's experience of himself also is I am only. The sense of pure existence, consciousness and bliss. So mind's interpretation of reality and reality's revelation of itself to the mind are two different things. You should remember. I am giving you the psycho-spiritual framework of our philosophical systems. Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita and Advaita are all giving lakshanas of the ultimate reality. But whether it is tatasta lakshana or Swarupa lakshana will depend on where you stand. Where you stand. So then, next we go to the next mantra. So you see, the knower of the self enters into Brahman. Samprapyai na mrishayo jnana triptaha kritatmano vitaraga prashantaha te sarvagam sarvata prapya dhira yuktatmana sarvameva vishanti. Having attained this, the seers become contented with their knowledge established in the self, freed from attachment and composed. Having realized the all-pervasive one everywhere, these discriminating people, ever merged in contemplation, enter into the all. Enter into Brahman. So you see, since Brahman is shining in all beings, they see themselves in all beings. So then their only outlook can be compassion and service, isn't it? That is the actual purpose of human life. Higher realization, compassion, service. There's no other purpose. All other purposes are, our skewed mind will make up so many purposes. You must put it aside. So again, let us see what this mantra says. Jnana tripta, those who have become contented with this mighty knowledge. Kritatmano vitaraga prashanta. So they become, Kritatmano is they have become satisfied with everything in their lives and established in the self. So they become freed from attachment and desires. Vitaraga and prashanta. Characteristic sign of a really spiritual soul is very composed. He is never restless or agitated. Te sarvagam sarvata prapya. So these, they are able to grasp the all-pervading one everywhere. In their own self, they are able to see the all-pervading one, Brahman. And such dhira, there's the term given for the rishi in the Upanishads. He is the dhira. He is the calm, composed and, austere one. One who is completely, you can say, balanced within himself. Yuktatmana. Yukta word is very important. In touch with reality. The yogi is the yuktatma. One in touch with reality deep within himself. And sarvameva vishanti. So he enters into the all. All here means Brahman, who is manifested as everything around us. So until we grasp this truth, we will always be frightened of entering the waters of Brahman, You have heard of that story, the raindrop which was falling from the skies got very agitated and frightened. I will lose my identity if I fall into the ocean. I will lose my identity. And the ocean is beckoning him. No, come, nothing will happen. But he is very scared, very scared. No, I will be in the clouds. Why should I come down and fall into you? So this is all, psychological concept of Brahman will lead to this. I will lose my identity. I will lose my sattva. When you enter the ocean, you become the ocean. You get a bigger identity, isn't it? You become the real. So this is the existential reality about us. For this to happen, again and again, the mind requires to be, jerked by giving it such meditations, the pure I am, or the Mahavakya meditations. We did the meditation on death. To shake your sense of identity, something is required. Don't allow life to shake it out of you. You shake it out of yourself through meditation and come to reality, isn't it? then you'll be mukta, you'll be free. Yes. Now you see the next mantra is very beautiful. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha Sannyasa Yoga Dhyataya Shuddha Sattvaha Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale Paramrita Parimuchanti Sarve. Those to whom the entity presented by the Vedantic knowledge has become fully ascertained, who are assiduous and have become pure in mind through the yoga of monasticism, all of them at the supreme moment of final departure become identified with the supreme immortality in the worlds that are Brahman, and they become freed on every side. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha, the great Vijnan of Vedant, one who is established in that, one who has become one with that. Sannyasa Yoga Dhyataya Shuddha, and they have become Shuddha Sattva through Sannyasa Yoga. Not, you see, don't take it as meaning one requires sannyas to come to this. The sannyasi's frame of mind, state of mind is required. He is free. Have you read the Song of the Sannyasin by Swamiji? Constantly he is saying that he is free in mind, free of duality. And he shakes off fetters, very independent. That is the spirit of sannyas. He stands alone. So make the mind like this and attain to that Shuddha Sattva through this yoga, and then Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale. So they have access to the, you can say, region of Brahman. Brahman has no region, but they have access to the highest knowledge after death. That realm of Brahman, Nirgun Brahman, what is called, they are able to enter and become freed or completely rikt, independent of everything as a result. So you see, this is what is called mukti. Mukti actually means freedom of mind, out of dissociation of mind and soul. Soul, you don't have freedom of soul, because soul is always free only. Freedom of soul from mind. So this is what they are describing. This knowledge results in the highest mukti. No more is that person bound, as it were. All our little struggles of life, are nothing but expressions of our bondage. So at one hack, they are removing that. Yes? Every day in your meditation, you must taste something of pure freedom. I am telling you. The purpose of meditation is that. Something of the state of mukti, you must taste. When you taste it, what will happen is you develop the higher taste. You now you understand something by mukti. Most people don't understand anything by mukti. They are comfortable in their bondage, how will they ask for mukti? So meditation will help you taste something of mukti. And then you will strive for it, isn't it? Unless you are able to make a dharana of it, how will you strive for it? If I don't know utterly nothing about, if I don't know anything about something, will I ask for that something? I won't ask for it. So also, mukti, moksha, all these terms, what they mean, you will know only in the depths of meditation. If there is no sadhana, you will know nothing. I'm telling you. Just some belief system you will have to follow, some faith in something. So don't insult your intellect. Do sadhana, you will know everything by yourself. Thakur used to give nice examples on this, isn't it? That why sadhana is important. He used to say, God makes everything anukul to one who strives. Yes, there are stories which are there in the gospel on that even impossible things will become possible if there is enough striving, if there is yearning for God, everything becomes possible. And then he says, Vyakulata is the only precondition for God realization. Not this particular path, that particular religion, that particular yoga. Only Vyakulata, yearning for God. So you see, everything is there in the gospel. That's why I told you. Then you see the 7th mantra. Gata kala panchadasha pratishtha devascha sarve pratidevatasu karmani vijnanamayascha atma pare avyaye sarva eki bhavanti. To their sources repair the 15 constituents of the body, and to their respective gods go all the gods of the senses, the karmas and the soul appearing like the intellect, all become unified with the supreme undecaying. So they are describing what happens to the realized soul upon the fall of the body. This is a mantra on that. See, I gave you a kind of GPS, no? Where the possibilities which we have after the fall of the body. So the illumined soul, what happens to him? That is being described in this mantra. What happens? To their sources repair the 15 constituents of the body. See, the body is nothing but Pancha Mahabhut. It is one of the aspects of Prakriti. It will go and merge in Prakriti. And then the respective gods, here senses, Deva comes from Div Dhatu, and the senses are also called Devas. They go and merge in the higher planes of the gods, as it were. Yes, these very sense organs, the body of the illumined is not cast away as the body of the unillumined. You know, there is actually no rite performed there, but Aarti is performed because all of his vital airs and senses, everything merges in the respective divine realm. That is the idea which is there in Hindu scriptures. Because he didn't use his body as is ordinarily used. Isn't it? See, the samadhi of a sage. In many spots in India, there are specific samadhis. It is there even in other cultures. That body is either preserved or it is, the rites are, it is burnt, but it is seen as something which has merged into the divine. And actually speaking, many sages have shown this also, that they either disappeared into the divine or they vanished out of sight. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mirabai and all, it was seen like that. The idea is this, that every bit of them merges into the respective portions of the divine. So their vitality will merge into the cosmic vitality. Their senses will merge into the devas. Their mind will merge into the cosmic mind. And their prana will merge into Prakriti itself. And finally, they become united. Their soul becomes united with the supreme undecaying Brahman. Yes, they have no baggage of karma to carry, to come back. So everything about them is, as it were, becomes one with the divine. This is the idea. In people who have not striven for spiritual life, that diagram which I gave you that day, they can go to different lokas, travel here. If a lot of punya is there, go to Swarlok. If a lot of papa is there, they go to that Narak. There I think it is there. And if they are very austere people with lot of good karma, Satyalok, Tapalok, and if realization, some amount of bhakti realization, then Sagun Brahmalok, Nirgun realization, Nirgun Brahmalok. But usually people have a lot of, most people have both positive and negative karma to carry. So then they go to Pitralok. It is a kind of, what you can say, you can't bypass Pitralok because there is, both karmas are there. And then accordingly they go to the other lokas. And Kshine Punya Martyalokam Vishanti. They come back here. This is the Karma Bhumi. So this is how it is seen for the ordinary mind which has not striven for spiritual enlightenment. But for the enlightened mind, it goes and directly merges in the respective aspects of the divine, God. You call it Sagun Brahman, Nirgun Brahman, whatever. So that is why that soul no more is going to come back in another body because it doesn't want to. Yes, when there are no desires, why will you want to come back? Yes. But yet some come back because the bodhisattva ideal is there, no? They really want to do good to others. Thakur used to give that example of that wall, no? Huh? There was a big wall which three friends found it, and one person, let me go and see what is beyond. So he went, and something so wonderful was beyond that he said, wow, this is going on, and he jumped and didn't even tell them what is there, what he saw. Then the second one went, and same thing happened to him also. You can't imagine what is there, and he jumped and went off on that side. And then the third one climbed, and he saw such a wonderful mart of joy was going on there. He thought, let me call the others. So he came down the wall, the bodhisattva. And then he goes back and tells everyone, come here, this is going on. And then brings everyone to climb over the wall. So Thakur's example is showing that there are souls who even after a great level of spiritual enlightenment can come back just to teach others. In fact, Thakur used to say Shankara held the ego of knowledge to teach others. Buddha, the ego of compassion to teach others. Each illumined soul can do that. So now we go to the next mantra. Yatha nadya syandamana samudre stam gachanti nama rupe vihaya tatha vidwan nama rupad vimukta parat param purusham upaiti divyam. As rivers flowing down become indistinguishable on reaching the sea by giving up their names and forms, so also the illumined soul, having become freed from name and form, reaches the self-effulgent Purusha that is higher than the higher Maya. No, it's such a beautiful example they are giving. See the metaphor of rivers. Why are they saying this? Because see, along these mountains only you can find so many tributaries. They join and become a river. Then you give that river a name. So only for that portion of the flow of that water, you have given a name and a form also. See, our identity also like that, only similar. Then when it merges into the sea, no name, no form, only water. This is there in Chandogya Upanishad also. So this is how we also are. Name, form, function, identity, everything is so superficial and superfluous. It's a temporary assumption to which we have given permanent identity. If you don't think properly, all these problems happen. If you can think Vedantically, you are very happy to shake off identity. If you shake off identity, you will remain at peace and able to do sadhana. Isn't it? If you carry huge burden of identity, that burden only is so huge. See, it's like, you're traveling in a train and you carry your suitcase on your head. Why? It's my suitcase, I have to carry. Who else will carry? Arre, you're on a train. So also, human life is an act of divine grace. It is meant for the higher goal. But I want to carry the suitcase of my identity on my head all my life. Then you suffer. God will say this only, You don't want to keep it down, you suffer. But if you put everything down, higher awareness awakens, which is what we want, isn't it? So put it down. If you're really smart, you will shake off identity. Otherwise, carry it. This is how one frees himself from name and form and reaches the self-effulgent Purusha. Then the 9th mantra, we are coming to the fag end of the Upanishad. Sa yoha vai tat paramam brahma veda brahmaiva bhavati na asya brahma vitkule bhavati tarati shokam tarati papmanam guha granthibhyo vimukto amrito bhavati. See, anyone who knows that Supreme Brahman becomes Brahman indeed. It is from the Mundaka Upanishad, Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati na asya kule abrahmavid bhavati. In his lineage, there will never be a non-knower of Brahman. Because you know why they say this? It is there in many of the Upanishads. The impact of Brahma Vidya, Brahma Jnana is so intense, it will go into your very genes. Yes. So it gets transmitted even in the family. That is why they say this, it's a common saying that if one sadhu comes out of a family, 7 generations of that family become purified. Why they say? Due to this. Because the impact is so great. Even the genetic impact will be great. It goes down. Any spiritual experience, it is not a manovritti. It goes into your very genes. Your entire being is transformed. It will percolate your entire mind, your vital energies, enter your body. Even your features will change. For the simple reason, that is the impact of that level of knowledge. You must feel the truth of this. You see, just by looking here, so many times you have heard the word Saumya. Even the enquirer of after Brahma Vidya is a Saumya, which means placid features, really seeking knowledge, brilliant mind, and a kind of awakened consciousness. Only they will seek this level of knowledge, isn't it? So it will go into your very genes. In fact, Thakur used to say that unless this has happened, you actually cannot trust your mind. A manovritti is not realization. Realization belongs to a totally different dimension of our existence. And if that has happened, definitely it will percolate into 7 generations of the family. It goes that far. And what is the personal experience of the jnani? Tarati shokam, tarati papmanam. Now he is freed from all shoka and pap, sin and sorrow. He overcomes all grief and rises above all aberrations. And guha granthibhyo vimukto, of all the complications of the knots of the heart, all obsessions and negativities and anger and hatred and passion, freed from everything, he attains immortality. See, our culture is a very cautious culture. It always told us there are shadripus in the life of man, isn't it? I mention this in every class because our today's generations are not even acquainted with this concept. What is the shadripu concept? There are 6 passions in human life which will, hijack all your intelligence. Kama, krodha, mada, lobha, moha, matsarya. Yes, lust, kam, krodh, anger, mada, pride, lobha, greed, and kama, krodha, mada, lobha, moha is delusion, and matsarya is jealousy. If these 6 are present in the mind, your own mind is your enemy. That's why they are called shadripus. And they will hijack our intelligence entirely. Yes, a mind which is imbued with all this. Better tell this to your children and grandchildren, because today they don't know. If these are there in the mind, intelligence will go, first thing. If buddhi goes, then you fall slave to passions and you fall slave to all this. Because there is no discernment now. So you see, this is why they are saying that tarati shokam, tarati papmanam. A man of this level of knowledge will overcome all grief and sin and rise above the knots of the heart, and he becomes immortal. Now go to mantra 10. Tadetadricha abhyuktam kriyavanta shrotriya brahmanishtaha swayam juhvata ekarshi shraddhayantaha teshame vaitam brahma vidyam vadeta shirovratam vidhivadhaistu chirnam. This rule has been revealed by the mantra, which runs thus: to them alone should one expound this knowledge of Brahman who are engaged in the practice of disciplines, versed in the Vedas and devoted to Brahman, who personally sacrificed to the fire called Ekarshi with faith, and by whom has been duly accomplished the vow of holding fire on the head. See, these were rituals of the Vedic times. Ekarshi ritual and the maintaining the 3 fires, and that Dakshinagni and all, they would carry it on the head. So those who are initiated into these rites and doing some form of discipline in their homes, only they should be given this Brahma Vidya. Obviously, I told you in the beginning, otherwise it won't make much sense at all. Isn't it? Remember this, Swamiji made this knowledge accessible to one and all, but only those who will benefit from it who have the sanskars. The rest, it will mean nothing. I can have spread a 10-course meal in front of you. You will only eat as much as your stomach will take, isn't it? It's like that. The knowledge is there, the books are available, but how much it becomes part of us will depend on how much real discipline is there in our life, sadhana is there, and sanskars are there. So, this is how this knowledge was transmitted. Go to the next mantra. Tadetat satyam rishirangira purovacha naitadachirna vratodhite nama paramarishibhyo nama paramarishibhyah iti Mundakopanishadi tritiya mundake dvitiya khandaha. So we come to the end of the Upanishad. The seer Angiras spoke of this truth in the days of yore. One that has not realized the woe, fulfilled the woe, does not read this. Salutation to the great seers. Salutation to the great seers. To whom did Angiras give this knowledge? Shaunaka. You remember in the first mantra, Angiras is giving this knowledge to Shaunaka, who was a very ideal householder. He comes and asks the Rishi, and then he gives them this entire knowledge of Brahma Vidya. Who will get it, who will not get it, how to get it, and how it liberates the soul. So we end with the last peace chant. You can chant with me. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyed Makshabhirya Jatraha Sthirairangai Stuštuvagam Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspati dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.